Greetings, everyone. Hope all of you are having a fantastic day today. Let's get back into Pathfinder and go through yet again one of my favorite party members, Wenduag. We'll just pick a woman who looks nice and vicious. And Wenduag is a fighter when you first get her. Mongrels are not available as a race, at least not in the character creator or mercenary creator. So we'll just pick a race that allows us to get the stats as close as we can to what Wenduag has. Go ahead and pick Tiefling. And then Hunger Seed, we can ignore the description. It doesn't fit Wenduag at all. All right, so Wenduag has a 16 on strength. Charisma is a 5. Okay, so you all know the drill. Can't get the attributes exactly right. So Wenduag comes with a 16 on strength, 20 on dexterity, 14 in constitution, 10 on intelligence, 12 in wisdom, and 5 in charisma. So we've got it as close as we can. Her skills or whatever, you can choose whatever fits in with your particular party. Okay, and she has point blank shot. And her background is called Underground Scavenger. That's not available in your list, so I just choose none here. And then she also gets Precise Shot. I think her alignment is Chaotic Evil. Skip that. Mad Woman, of course. And Wenduag. Okay. All right. Now, this is when you get Wenduag. She's only got one level, so you can go wherever you want to go. Wenduag is one of the party members who I feel like her class does not fit with her personality at all. In a lot of other cases, it's clear that Owlcat actually specifically selected this class to go with that character. Sela clearly should be a paladin. Camellia clearly should be a spirit hunter, etc., etc. Fighter is too bland for you to tell me that it actually fits with who Wenduag is. And I think it's boring. It's boring as hell and it's bland. Mind you, you can go single class fighter through the entire game and she'll do great damage and be a great party member. It's not like it's gimped, but it's just too vanilla for me to want to keep her that way. So when I look at the list, because neither her intelligence or her wisdom scores are all that impressive, I feel like you definitely want to keep her as someone who's dealing physical damage. And since she already gets point blank and precise shot, I feel like you should also allow her to stick with ranged. I think Slayer works really nicely for her. But you already get one Slayer, pure Slayer party member in Greybore. So instead, I like to take her down to Executioner. These professional killers are trained and used almost exclusively by crime families. Streetwise and ruthless, they operate independently, often making their talents available to the highest bidder. Though a few unscrupulous executioners exploit this arrangement and force families to pay higher rates for their services, most of these assassins follow a strict personal code and maintain absolute transparency with their employers. I feel like this kind of fits with Wenduag because she always latches on to whoever is most resourceful and powerful around her at any particular time. She's not particularly loyal. So I feel like out of the available options you have for classes that deal strictly physical damage and don't have a requirement for her to use spells, I think this works really well. Okay, and she gets 3 skill points. You can put them wherever you like. Okay, study target. A Slayer can study an opponent he can see as a move action. The Slayer then gains a +1 bonus on weapon attack and damage rolls against it. The DCs of Slayer class abilities against that opponent increase by 1. If a Slayer deals sneak attack damage to a target, he studies the target, allowing him to apply his studied target bonuses against that target. And these bonuses increase over time. A Slayer is proficient with all simple and martial weapons, but you're already a fighter, so not that big of a deal. And Focus Killer. At first level, An executioner study target bonuses and the DCs of the saving throws against his Slayer abilities increase by 1 against humanoid opponents, but decrease by 1 against non-humanoid opponents. Executioner. Skill. All right, get another feat. She is ranged. Well, I think it makes sense to go weapon focus. And then longbow. Next. All right, so same way Rogue gets specific talents, Slayer basically gets talents from that exact same list. So we can go combat style feat, archery, and she can take rabbit shot. Executioner. Focus on dexterity, since you are wielding a bow. Next. Sneak attack. If a character can catch an opponent when he is unable to defend himself effectively from her attack, she can strike a vital spot for extra damage. The character's attack deals extra damage anytime her target would be denied a dexterity bonus to AC, whether the target actually has a dexterity bonus or not, or when the character flanks her target. This extra damage is 1d6 and increases by 1d6 at later levels. This additional damage is precision damage and is not multiplied on a critical hit. Okay, accomplished sneak attacker. You get your sneak attack damage increases by 1d6. That makes sense. Painful strike. At 4th level, an executioner automatically gains this talent. A creature that makes sneak attack damage from an executioner must make a successful fortitude save. DC equals 10 plus half the executioner's class level plus his intelligence modifier, or becomes sickened for 1d4 rounds. Next. Apply more skills. Okay, and we get another feat. Cluster shot, deadly aim, mini shot, drill. Whole bunch of archery feats. I like mini shot first. When making a full attack with a bow, your first attack fires 2 arrows. If the attacks hit, both arrows hit. Apply precision-based damage such as sneak attack and critical hit damage only once for this attack. You get another Slayer talent now, and I like just going into combat trick. You have a bunch of feats you need to get through, so I like taking deadly aim. You can choose to take a -1 penalty on all ranged attack rolls to gain a +2 bonus on all ranged damage rolls. Dexterity again. Choose your skills. Study target swift. So now you can study your target as a swift action. Executioner. Another feat. And we'll go ahead and take cluster shots. You take a moment to carefully aim your shots, causing them all to strike nearly the same spot. When you use a full attack to make multiple ranged weapon attacks against the same opponent, total the damage from all hits before applying the opponent's damage reduction. Right, and still nothing that we need from here. So we'll take a combat trick, and we'll go improve critical first. And longbow. Nothing extra there. Level 10. And we have another feat. I think it's Hammer the Gap, right? Oh, no. We got Snapshot. When wielding a ranged weapon, you threaten squares within your melee reach. You can make attacks of opportunity with that ranged weapon. You do not provoke attacks of opportunity when making a ranged attack as an attack of opportunity. And now you get some options as far as doing something when you critical hit or when you deal sneak attack damage. I like the spelling attack. An opponent that is dealt sneak attack damage by a character with this ability is affected by a targeted dispel magic, affecting one of the spell effects active on the target. The caster level for this ability is equal to the character's level. I've got a couple of comments from subscribers saying that they feel like this passive was broken in Kingmaker and therefore might still be broken in Wrath of the Righteous. I have not experimented with this specifically yet, so I will do some experimentation. Probably, I hopefully get a chance this weekend to make sure that it works as designed. But I believe that it does, but I've never like specifically tested it to focus on that and try to verify that. But if it does, then I think this is fantastic. All right, and assassinate. At 10th level, an executioner can target studied opponents in attempt to instantly kill them. This ability can only be used out of combat, and the target must not see the executioner apart from that its effects are similar to the coup de grace ability. Whenever an executioner kills an enemy with assassinate, all other enemies in a 30-foot radius become demoralized at 14th level. And then finally, at 19th level, whenever an enemy survives an assassinate attempt by an executioner, it suffers 2d6 bleed damage. The best keeps on getting better. All right, and more dexterity. Well, all right, we get another feat here, and we'll take improved snapshot. You threaten an additional 5 feet with snapshot. Excellent stuff. Okay, and at level 13, you get more Slayer talents, like on combat style, archery, and then you can either do improved precise shot if you're having a lot of trouble hitting enemies in concealment, which you shouldn't, because you should be using true seeing or some other spell in order to reveal these enemies. But if you need it, it's there. Otherwise, you can go a point blank master. You do not provoke attacks of opportunity when firing the selected weapon while threatened. And longbow. Slayer's Advance. At 13th level, a Slayer can once per day increase his movement speed by 30 feet, and his movement doesn't provoke attacks of opportunity. At 17th level, he can do this twice per day. Greater Snapshot. You threaten an additional 5 feet with Snapshot. Additionally, whenever you make an attack of opportunity using a ranged weapon and hit, you gain a +2 bonus on the damage roll and a +2 bonus on rolls to confirm a critical hit with the attack. These bonuses increase over time. So that means it's great to bring Wenduag closer to the action, closer to the chaos. Let her get these attacks of opportunity, which I believe fits directly in with her character. She wants to be right where the bloodshed is. And I also like Blinding Strike. A character who selects this talent gains Blinding Critical as a bonus feat, even if she doesn't meet the requirements, the prerequisites. Okay, level 15. More dexterity. Study target. So now at level 17, scroll down, and I will go ahead and take critical focus. I'm not taking Hammer the Gap because at least when you're playing on normal, you shouldn't have a bunch of times that you're hitting the same enemy. You should go ahead and be wiping them out unless they're a boss. And if they're a boss, you should be clearing out the scrubs as quickly as possible and then focusing fire all onto that boss. So again, they shouldn't be up long. So to me, Hammer the Gap isn't all that great unless you're going up against just the toughest of the toughest bosses. And those occasions are rare when you're playing on normal. If you're going to play at the highest difficulty level, Hammer the Gap is probably worth taking and worth taking much, much earlier. But for now, critical focus. You are trained in the art of causing pain. You receive a +4 circumstance bonus on attack rolls made to confirm critical hits. All right, so now we get another Slayer talent, and I would scroll down and go ahead and get Opportunist. The character can make an attack of opportunity against an opponent who has just been struck for damage in melee by another character. This attack counts as an attack of opportunity for that round and can't be used more than once per round. So you've already got Snapshot. Snapshot is affecting a wide area. This is just going to make it easy, even easier for you to hit targets. Okay, now that you've leveled up, let's go ahead and go through the Mythic Path options. So, first Mythic Path option I would choose is Distracting Shots. Your ranged attacks, your ranged weapon attacks are dangerous enough for the enemy to forget about melee threats. If you hit an enemy with a ranged weapon attack, they receive a penalty on AC against melee attacks equal to half your Mythic rank for 1 round. I don't know why it keeps coming up with Study Talent and Assassinate every time I level up. All right, next Mythic feat I'd go for is Mythic Sneak Attacker. Your sneak attacks deal an additional 1d6 damage. You should be sneak attacking as often as possible, so that makes a lot of sense. Next, you can go with Cleaving Shot. Every time you deal critical damage with your ranged weapon attack or reduce the target to 0 hit points, you deal your weapon damage to all of the enemies in a 10-foot radius. Next up, I will go Rapid Shot Mythic. When using Rapid Shot, you ignore the feat's -2 penalty on attack rolls. And then for the final Mythic ability I can show you, I'd scroll all the way down to the bigger they are. The bigger they are, the easier they are to hit for your ranged weapon attacks. You gain a bonus on your attack rolls with ranged weapons, equal to the penalty to AC the target receives from their size, if any. And then for your final Mythic feat, I'd scroll down and get Point Blank Shot Mystic. The bonus on attack and damage rolls granted by Point Blank Shot increases to +2. Again, as we've already established, Wenduag, built like this, is someone you might move up a little bit and have her doing attacks of opportunity against enemies. So I feel like this makes sense and actually helps her. Okay, and there you have it. That's the build. So maybe not as sexy as some of the other ones that have a bunch of spells and buffs that they can deal out, but Wenduag built like this will absolutely be able to deal out a massive amount of damage and be someone who's very, very consistent for you throughout the game. And I feel like it makes her just a little bit more interesting than the usual vanilla fighter that they offer you in the game. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments. What do you think? Is this the way that you would like to multi-class Wenduag? Do you have a better idea of what class you could go to that would really fit in with her personality and the attribute stat points that has been provided to us? Let me know. If you enjoyed this content, please go ahead and leave me a like, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.